Welcome to the Will Leitch Show. This is a talk show about sports, I guess, and also about the surreal insanity that is our current cultural moment. Now, I don't know about you, but I am a little afraid we're all going to die soon. I know that's a strange way to start an affable sports talk show, but I feel like I need to get it out there right now. Death is coming for us all. This keen awareness of our own mortality feels more acute of late because, well, look around. Even our Olympics, when all we want to do is look at pretty outfits, watch some Norwegians crash into a frozen tree, and figure out what exactly is going on with Bob Costas' eye, are taking place 50 miles away from a dictator who just might kill us all. To be fair, our college football playoff title game took place about 50 yards from one. The world feels perilous and terrifying, and thus everything that isn't the end of the world can feel frivolous. But that's why sports exists, right? Life is scary and difficult and confusing, but sports are not. If your team wins, you are happy. If they lose, you are sad. There is no middle ground. Sports give us a simplicity in a world that provides us none. If you watch a game or if you don't, it does not, in fact, matter. The world will keep turning either way until it doesn't. And this is freeing. Sports are a place for us to scream and yell and growl and bark and get out all of those emotions that would be unacceptable in any other setting, save for maybe Comic-Con and my weird cousin Carl's basement. Sports matter because they don't. They're important because they're pointless. They're dead serious because they're so silly. And that's what we're trying to do with this show, to embrace the lunacy and joy and insanity of sports as the one place left where true escape from the world is possible. Most owners are greedy plutocrats, the players are often jerks, and every single coach I have ever met in my life is batshit insane. That is why the games belong to us, the fans. This is a show about how fun and stupid and dumb sports really are, and why they should never, ever be taken seriously, which is exactly why none of us can live without them. Our first guest, and hopefully not our last guest, is celebrating the 20th anniversary of her gold medal in Nagano, and will team with Johnny Weir to telecast figure skating at this year's Pyeongchang Games. Ladies and gentlemen, Tara Lipinski.
Hi.
Very much a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for.
Why do I get the dull cup and you get the unicorn?
Because yours is straight ether, and mine is actually. Yeah, it's chaste. Anyway, thank you very much for coming on. I'm delighted. You are actually the first guest on this program.
Oh, how exciting.
So it's all on you. When do you leave? You're about to go. You're about to go to South Korea. When do you leave?
I leave in like 3 weeks.
3 weeks. So it's funny because, I was in Sochi, and I remember people forget this now. It's like the Y2K virus. Since nothing happened with the Y2K virus, everyone just assumed we were all panicking about it. But it was actually like people were really nervous going to Sochi. People have totally forgotten about that. Are you concerned at all with what's going on with North Korea going out there? Has NBC given you like a plan of a bunker?
NBC gives you this whole layout that you have to go through and sign and know what to do just in case, and they keep us very, very prepared. So what's strange is going into Sochi, I felt extremely nervous because, do you remember the Black Widow?
Of course, the
Yes.
Black Widow.
And this was my first Olympic Games that I was working, and I was like at the airport, like, bye, Mom, I'm never gonna see you again.
When you got off the plane, it was all like, your phone's gonna get hacked.
Yeah, it was like all of these things, but security is so high, and I never feel safer than at an Olympic Games, and that sounds so strange. And I'm also with NBC, who makes you feel so safe, and they kind of have you so safe and prepared that, as strange as it sounds, I'm not worried, even though we're very close.
50 miles. 50 miles. Though I will say, one thing I remember when I was at Sochi, we hated you NBC people.
Oh, you
people
did?
Because you guys had a Starbucks. You brought your own Starbucks person over, and the rest of us, there was no coffee at all inside the Ring of Steel. Remember the Ring of Steel? There was no coffee.
We really had it made.
You really did. You really did. We resent everything about you. But thank you otherwise. So I'm curious. One of the things that people have talked a lot about figure skating of late is the idea. Like one of the things I think people have responded to you and Johnny so much is you have brought, I think, an extra level of entertainment and flamboyance to a sport that sometimes people have argued in recent years has become too technical or too technically proficient. Do you feel that obligation, A, and B, do you actually think that's true about the sport?
Well, I think what happened for Johnny and I is we came into Sochi as the B team. Nobody was really watching us. I think our bosses were so, concerned on the primetime show. And we were kind of flying under the radar. And all we would say to each other every morning is, let's not get fired. And we were just recently starting to work together. So we had no idea what our vibe was or what the dynamic would be. But we sat down in the booth with Terry Gannon, and Terry looked at us and he said, just do what you want to do. And we're like, okay. And we just did it. And whatever happened, that chemistry and the banter, it became very conversational. And I think that's what hit home with the younger viewers. And I think, we like to be technical and educate the audience, but at the same time, skating has lost a lot of popularity. Back in my day in the 90s, it was huge, right after Nancy and Tanya. And now we've lost some of those fans. So Johnny and I want to connect with them, and you have to do it in a fun way. I mean, we respect and love our sport, but there are a lot of quirky, funny, strange things that happen that we have to address and have fun with.
Is it hard to recreate? You're not Broadway actors. Is it hard? When that happened initially, you've done acting, of course, but when it initially was just kismet, just happened out of nowhere. You couldn't recreate it. Now you actually have to recreate it.
But we don't. So for the last 4 years, we've been working together, just not on that level of an Olympic Games. So not that many people see us. We're actually on every Sunday, but I know there's a thing of football that happens as well. So
terrible for your brain. It has nothing to do.
But really, what we try to do is not think about it. We like to be live because we started live. We don't rehearse. We just kind of go on the fly and have fun, and somehow that's working. So,
no, come on. I have no doubt. I have absolutely no doubt. I saw Ashley Wagner has been the big story. She looked very mad, and justified or not. I think obviously everyone's very competitive. I'm curious. You were obviously very competitive. You were very successful. Was there a little part of you had to secretly hope one of your competitors was going to fall sometime, right?
I mean, it's strange because it gives you relief if you know, oh, my biggest competitor just fell 3 times. Phew, it's the relief is off. But
you don't actually do this.
No,
don't do that.
But at the same time, you don't want them to be at their worst. At my Olympic Games, I was so happy I got to skate with Michelle Kwan, who is, will go down as one of the best.
Are you guys friends? Do you guys like each other?
We do. We don't see each other that much. I saw her just
Well, that's
recently.
the best way to get along with people.
Is that how it works?
Yes, I love. Those are my favorite people.
But what's funny is on that point with Michelle, I really do feel that the older we get and when we do see each other, I feel like we do have this bond because we went through something that no one else went through and can understand. I can explain it to my husband, but Michelle and I were kind of in it together, and it is this strange feeling that I feel like I have this bond with her. But no, I was back to the point. I was so proud to skate against her and have her skate her best because as a competitor, you don't want to let anyone let you win.
I guess. I want you guys to be angrier. I guess. Okay, Scott Hamilton, he has to hate you guys.
No, he works with us.
I know, but you took the.
I mean, it was crazy.
It's TV. People are.
In Sochi, it really was. It was nuts. Johnny and I went in, and we had no idea what we were up against or what we were going to face or how we were going to do it. And I just remember one morning we started an Instagram together just for fun, and our parents, a few friends, we had 8 followers the first day that we did it. And then after our first broadcast, we have adjoining rooms, so I knocked on his door. I was like, Johnny, somehow we gained 30,000 followers. What just happened? And
type of thing that would anger Scott Hamilton. I'm just saying, type of thing that would anger Scott Hamilton.
But you know what? We didn't know when that transition was going to happen, even while we were there.
Right.
And I'm obviously grateful that we're able to be in the primetime seat and have this role. I've been wanting it for a long time, and you never know if you get it. Scott and Sandra were amazing. They could have had it for another 100 years.
So I'm just saying that, if you see people having fun on Instagram in the side room, knock them out. Speaking of which, I'm curious, are figure skaters good at fighting? Hockey players are good at fighting? Yeah, have you ever been in a fight? Are you a fighter?
No,
You've never been in a fight?
Petrified.
Petrified of a fight?
Yes, if something
But if threatened?
If threatened, I would,
I'm not going to threaten you. I'm just saying I'm curious.
I would be cowering away.
See,
don't touch me.
Well, no, 'cause I've heard there's this rumor that Elvis Stoico beat up Eric Lindros. If it's not true, I don't want to believe it.
I don't know about that story.
It's awesome. It may not be true, but I don't care.
I need to Google this, but maybe the guys, with the testosterone have more of that. I mean, I'm afraid. I would never. I like to
entirely believe
compete.
you.
I'm like a crazy competitor.
Right, of course.
Like, don't play like board games with me. Don't play any game. Don't play any sport with me. Like, it will end in a fight. Not in that kind of fight,
Right,
but just
right.
me kind of huffing and puffing.
Because The Cutting Edge is kind of about this move, right? The famous figure skating movie, The Cutting Edge, is kind of about the idea of like the gruff hockey player.
Right.
But like, do figure skaters like that movie more, or do hockey players like that movie more?
I love that movie. I'm not sure who
I think that
would like
answers
it more.
the question.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I mean, I grew up on that, and I mean, how cute was that?
It was very cute. It was
Cute.
very
See,
cute.
so it's a girl thing. You're like, oh, it's cute.
It's a DB Sweeney. It's DB Sweeney. Okay, we obviously have to talk about you and Johnny. You guys are so connected to each other now. You guys, of course, did the Kentucky Derby together. And one thing I've always kind of been fascinated by, who handles finishing fourth worse, a figure skater or a horse?
I'm a figure skater for sure.
A figure skater? Because a horse, you just...
You know, they.
Yeah.
I mean, they may.
Yeah, like figure skaters do not respond so positively to carrots.
No. Yeah,
Okay.
you cannot give them
That's
a
good to
carrot
know.
to make anything
That's
better.
good to know. That's good to make sense. I will try that. If this keeps going, if I keep doing a terrible job, I'll give you a carrot. Maybe
Yeah, maybe.
this will go a little better. Here's something I feel kind of bad asking. Johnny's great. Everybody loves Johnny. It feels like that he's got a LeBron problem coming up in the next couple years. The hairline is kind of... There's nothing wrong with that.
Johnny will never have a problem because you know why? He carries so much weave, and I'm sure, Jay, if you're listening, you're totally fine with me saying this.
Okay.
He carries so much weave with him that he will have hair for days and days forever.
So I think this is a solution for LeBron entirely. I didn't know that. So like, is there like, is that hard to get through customs?
No, I mean it's just like little extensions.
Yeah, just get them everywhere and.
I mean, I wear them.
I know that, but like, I guess I don't know. I guess that's good. I guess if he wouldn't be upset, I would.
Johnny
Right.
goes like nothing upsets Johnny.
Do you think someday though, if it really kept going, he'd go the Bruce Willis and he'd shave?
I feel like I could see
He
him
could pull that
rocking
off.
that. I mean, and then
He
I
could
feel
totally
like
pull
he'd
that
wear a tiara or something.
Yeah, I think that would be fantastic. When you, theoretically speaking, this was something that would never actually happen. But theoretically speaking, if someone were to say, whack the legs of you or Johnny, who would you want to take Johnny's place, and who would he want to take your place?
Wait, for someone to
Yeah, they really
whack
want the other
Johnny-
spot. Like, yeah, they can't do the telecast.
Like Johnny can't do the telecast.
Yeah, who
with
would
me.
you want to do it, and who would?
I cannot answer that because this has been like an emotional problem. I talked to Johnny about it. We go like it's like a therapy session. I don't know how he feels, but I'm like, Johnny, I cannot do this without you. Like, and if somehow one of us gets fired, we better make a pact that we just leave because I just couldn't. How do you create that same thing? There's no way.
I think that's the type of question that's going to make Scott Hamilton angry. I don't think that answers thing. When you were there, you had to have seen Costas's eye. It was weird, right? Did you see Bob Costas's eye up close?
I did.
It was
You know
really
what?
freaky.
I didn't see it because we were down just in the ice skating, and they were at the IBC. I missed it, but I heard of it. Obviously, how could you?
It was kind of amazing that there was this incredible, massive global event going on, and all Americans would talk about
It was like the
close-up of Bob
biggest. It was
Costas's eye.
the biggest news.
Yeah, it was as close to like an international bacterial incident as we actually had at those Sochi games that we were all worried about. I only brought up passing Tanya Harding. Obviously, the movie's in the news. Let's make it some Oscar nominations.
Right.
Having done that, having both skated and broadcasted, do you think she would be a good broadcaster? You talked about like bringing in like new life to broadcast. Do you think she could do it?
I mean, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
You know, you watch the movie and, you know, she had a very difficult life.
She did.
But there are a lot of athletes in many different sports that have had difficult lives, childhoods, relationships with their parents, and they don't go around,
Right.
you know,
Yeah. I also don't think NBC lets you smoke on set.
smoke.
Oh,
For Tanya,
you.
I was like, wait, I don't
smoke.
smoke. No, yeah, I don't think. Can you imagine
Yeah,
that?
yeah, I don't think that-
Let me just take a puff.
Yeah. Maybe curling. They probably let the curling
Yeah, why
announcers do
not?
it. They probably let the curling.
Curling's actually really fun to watch.
Okay.
Did you hear that?
I was
No, I mean,
there.
like you
I
have
was
to go.
there.
It's a party.
Oh, it is
People in the
great.
audience go nuts. All the athletes
I was there.
want that ticket.
Oh, it was fun. I interviewed the Canadian team, and they are like Elvis
Yeah.
and LeBron, and like all
hilarious.
of these all of the journalists like cram to them like a post-game
yeah.
scrum at a baseball.
Yeah, and the audience goes nuts, and they're drinking, and it's
And they're really
rowdy.
into the
yeah.
room guy. The room guy is kind of like
Yeah.
he's the Okay, I have a personal question. I hope this is not too personal.
Oh boy.
You married someone who works in sports media. Why?
Why? Well, I mean, he's kind of, separated a little bit since he's like a producer and director.
I know, but
it
we're
just
terrible people. We're useless. We can't do anything. And
it
we're gone all
is
the time.
crazy because I always said I will marry someone who has nothing,
Right.
a dentist, someone just nothing to do with sports, skating, anything like that. And then, magic happened at the sports Emmys, and I handed him an Emmy, and that was it.
That is where the magic always happens.
The sports Emmys.
It always happens.
Where it's at.
The sports Emmys. Okay, so we're going to do a game now called Artistic Impressions, where we're going to look at 5 different athletes and what they're wearing.
Okay.
And you've got some I got some very fancy numbers for you here. These in post, these will be in 3D and glowing. So don't think this is all. It's all green screened.
Okay.
So we're gonna give me a number between 1 and 10 of what the quality of the outfit. First, we're gonna start with Cam Newton, who's kind of doing the guy at the beginning of an unseemly movie who ordered a pizza. I think that's kind of the look he's going for.
You know what? I'm gonna give it
An 8.
An 8. You know why? Because I love the hat. It's just quirky and it's fun.
It is definitely
and it's like,
quirky.
I don't care.
Yeah, that's the thing I always forget about fashion is like half the battle is just making
I
it
don't
look
care.
like you don't
yeah,
care.
I like it.
Wow,
You thought I was going to go different.
I just said never knew not caring was stylish. Okay, now we have the Kirk Cousins kid in the Skittles commercial special. Here, what do you think of Kirk Cousins' outfit there? It's a 1, yeah.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
I feel bad. I'm sorry.
I don't think he gets tackled for a living.
That's
I don't think
a lot.
Yeah. Okay, next up we have Damian Lillard, what I can only assume is the skin shirt of a vanquished foe.
You know what? That's a lot of, chest.
Yeah, that is.
And
It feels incomplete.
I'm going to give it a 5.
Yeah, I mean it's original. It's original.
The jacket fits nice. It's missing. It's missing.
It feels like something's
missing.
I can't put my finger exactly on it.
Yeah.
Okay, now we have Oksana Damnia. I'm going to say his name incorrectly. Forgive me. Oksana Damnia and Maxime Chabalin from the 2007 Figure Skating Championships, kind of looking like they're from like a Michael Haneke movie. What do you think?
Okay, so I don't even know what they skated to, so maybe it was something super artistic.
I assume it was the Benny Hill.
This would be this would be like a 10, but can I go with a 2 or a 3?
You can go with a 2 or 3. We should have given you a half.
Yeah,
In
I mean like
retrospect,
all
I
of
feel
them.
Terrible.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. Okay, now I don't know exactly who this person is, but it's certainly that's a 10. That's you're trying to make up for the weave admission. You have to give it.
No, he's a 10. He's 10 in my book. Always, I know.
Always.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I feel like you're biased. I feel like you're a little biased. Okay, so now we're going to finish up. We do a game with all of our guests, which is to say so far you, but all of our guests.
How am I doing?
You are. Listen,
great.
I'll put it this way.
I just wanted to
if they
really
never do
strong.
if they never do another one of these, it will not be because of you.
Okay.
So we're gonna have this game that we have. This is a very specific
Do
game.
I need these cards?
You can throw them away,
done.
trash them, burn
Great.
them. We have a lighter somewhere down there. Okay, so we're 15 seconds on the clock. This game is called How Fast Can You Say Things on this show that you're on with Will? We're on right now.
Wait, what?
I'm gonna give you a category. I'll explain that. Don't
Okay,
worry.
this is gonna be fast.
Yeah. 15 seconds on the clock. I'm going to ask you to name the last 10 women's figure skating Olympic gold medalists.
Last 10.
Last 10, as many as you can.
Women, is it in the U.S.?
No, Olympic gold
okay,
medalists.
okay.
Olympic gold medalists.
Adelita
U.S.
Are we starting?
15 seconds on the clock. Going now.
Adelita Sotnikova, Una Kim.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
my God. Where are we? We're 2010, so then we're
New York.
No, wait, where? Oh my God.
You're at the desk.
Wait, then we go to 2006. Shizuka Arakara.
Yes.
Then
I'm sorry, that's all.
this is where I'm an analyst.
Well, for the record, you got 3.
I got real
3.
nervous because I forgot what was the Olympics before.
Well, to be honest, a lot of these people are very obscure, like Tara Lipinski from
Right,
the
I
United
mean, I
States.
wouldn't know.
Very, yeah, I mean, like, honestly.
Who knows
Sarah
that?
Hughes, Katerina Witt twice, Chrissy Yamaguchi. But you got 3, which is, frankly, I would have gotten 1 at least because I would be looking at that person.
Right.
So I would have gotten one that you.
I mean, when I got to 98, I'd be like,
All right. I have to say, I found this a delight. I hope you've enjoyed this, and my mug, of course. Cheers.
I mean, I loved your
you
mug.
too.
I got the crappy one, but thank you.
Oh, this, you got the pure moonshine. All right, Tara, thank you very much for coming on.
Of course.
It was a delight as always. As always, because we've talked
all the time
before now. All right, so this has been the first and hopefully not last episode of the Will Leitch Show. Thank you for watching, and thank you to my guest, the great Tara Lipinski.